Hi, today I'd like to kind of go over the programming information over here on the left-hand side. So if you just click on that, you can see here that we are going to use NetBeans. All of the work you're going to do for me, your assignments must be sent to me zipped in a NetBeans folder. This you'll put into your ePortfolio, and again, it must be compressed or zipped, however you want to call that. Documentation requirement, I'm going to show that to you in a later video, but basically this information that you're seeing right here should be on every file that you submit, okay? The name of the program, what the file name is. The word this is a reserved word in Java, and we'll use it at the end of the semester once we start talking about objects. Your name, of course, the date you're working, and the purpose of the program. And again, the purpose of the program is not for you to complete chapter 9, whatever. The purpose of the program would be to do something like, this program will display a message to the reader or to the user. Or this program will calculate the taxes on income of people depending on how many dependents they have. Something like that. Again, we're going to try and treat the class like you're actually doing it at a job. The next item is primitive data types. And primitive data types are the ones we're going to start out with. Those are ones like integer, double, string. Well, string isn't really a primitive data type, but you need to use it right away. Boolean, those are the main ones that you're going to use right away, especially integer and double. Integer means it's a whole number. Double means it can be a fractional number, or what we call in computer science a floating point. Now, there's some other ones, but for all general purposes, those ones we will use at the beginning here, and I'll let you use them for the main part of the class. Okay? So it's kind of like, why do we have these data types? It's like storage area, okay? If I have something real small to store, or let's say I'm going to park my car in a garage, and I have a standard size car, I don't need a huge garage to park it in. But if I own a semi or a truck or something big, I'd have to have a bigger garage. Same thing here. If I have some data that can be stored in a small amount of space, then I only reserve that amount of space. If I need more space, then I have to save it as a different type of data. Up here I have two definitions for you. One is a variable, and a variable is nothing more than a name, place, and memory that stores data that may change during program execution. In other words, it might be somebody's name, okay? And so if during the program, if we want to change what name is printing out or something, we can change that. A constant is a name, place, and memory that cannot change during program execution. Something like maybe pi, the value of pi, maybe we set it at 3.14159, and throughout our program we'll use that number, okay? We can't change it once we say what it's going to be. Here's our naming conventions for the class, okay? You need to read over there, variable names. We're going to use what's called camel hump, or what I call camel hump, where if you have two words, okay, like total cost, the first word is all in lowercase, then there's a capital C for the starting of the second word. You cannot have spaces or things like that, okay? What else do I want to tell you about that? Constants, on the other hand, are all in uppercase. And that's just by convention. It doesn't affect your program, but it makes it more programmer friendly. Okay, and then here's some other rules as far as case sensitivity. Again, in Java, if you type in two different things, like if you type first name with like this in camel hump, and then later on type it in without a capital N, those would be two different variables. You can't start your variable names with a number. Okay, they can't contain spaces, and they can't be a keyword or a reserved word. Okay, there's certain words that mean certain things to the program. So we'll be going over those. Okay, here's an example of how to declare variables and constants. The first two are going to be integers with the name shirt sold and an integer with pants sold. Okay, you can do them like this, but I prefer doing them singly. I think at least at the beginning you're better off doing that. Down here I show how to declare some constants. Now these constants would be outside the main, but the main thing you need to know here is that to declare a constant you need to use the word final. Okay, the word final. Going down farther, the difference between an equal sign and an assignment character. And this, you'll get caught up doing this every now and then. We read our code from right to left. So this right here, we're going to assign 0.085 to the variable tax rate. That's a double. Okay, we're assigning it. So whatever's on this side gets calculated first, and then it's assigned to the right-hand side. Okay. On this one, this means that 21 is equal to person's age. This is an equal sign. The double equal sign is an equal sign. A single equal sign means assign this to. Don't worry about the API download till later, and don't worry about the compiling a Java program. So that pretty much covers what's under this topic, programming info, for the course. So we're going to take a break now, and I'll get back to you with more video later.